Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Dark Magician deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one because it's going to be getting new support very soon in January from the Legendary Duelist 6. So I'm really excited to do one more deck profile right before that, just to kind of show you guys what the deck can do before it and then after it. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on this and become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on this. And before we do guys, I really quickly want to mention I do actually place bets the Dark Magician will at least be a top contender for a Rogue Tier 2 deck after the new support comes out, if not a Tier 1 deck. If it doesn't make it Tier 1, I don't know what can make Dark Magicians Tier 1, because that new support is absolutely bonkers, especially when the King Dragoon comes out, or whatever it is, the Red Eyes one, Red Eyes Dragoon. That one's going to be ridiculous, and I am so excited for that one. You guys don't even know. So, let's get started on this. I hope they don't, keep that card forever in the OCG. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense, and then it's going to be 3 copies of Dark Magician, and you can only play the OG artwork. I mean, I'm just kidding. The Red Dark Magician's really awesome. The Legend of Blue Eyes one's really awesome, but I personally like the OG artwork. I think it's one of the most alternate artwork cards in the entire game besides Blue Eyes. Then we play a single copy of Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl lets us have a extra 300 attack and defense for each Dark Magician and or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. So she can get decently big. She can get up to 2,900. But there's cards in the deck that revolve around having her and Dark Magician on the field. 3 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. There's no other real substitute for this card, but I am absolutely positive this card is going to get a common reprint in the Legendary Duelists. If it doesn't get a rare reprint, I would imagine it would get a common reprint. It might be a short print, but I don't know. I hope they don't. But it's going to definitely get a reprint in the Legendary Duelists. So then we play 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusion. Basically, the Apprentice, by the way, is you discard it and then add a special summon it, add a Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, and then if a spellcaster type monster battles while it's on the field or in the hand, you can send it to the graveyard and then pay 2,000, or not pay 2,000, it gains 2,000. 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusion. Magician of Dark Illusion is really interesting. I was playing it at 1 for the longest time, but I actually bumped it up to 2. I thought it was kind of more, it was a little bit better at 2. Basically, it has the ability it becomes Dark Magician while on the field, and then it also has the ability that during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap, you can special summon it from your hand, and then if you activate a spell or trap while this card's face up on your field, you can target a Dark Magician in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's a good 2 of. I think I keep bouncing between 1 and 2 of this copy, or this card, but I think I'm going to settle on 2. Then we play 3 copies of Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is a really good card in the deck to be able to go into, search the deck. When it's normal summon, you get to add a spell or trap, specifically list Dark Magician on the card's text. And then during your opponent's turn, if you have a spell card in your, if you activate a spell card while this card's in your graveyard, you can tribute a spellcaster type monster you control and add this card back to your hand, so you can get additional searches. So then I play 3 of a card that we're going to guess. So definitely comment down below. We're going to play Guess That Card right now. So definitely comment down below. Tell me what you think this card is. I'm going to give you guys 3 seconds to comment down below and tell me what you think this card is. And I want to see if you guys can get it right. So this is a really interesting tech card that I might drop out when the new support comes out. I don't know. It's a really good card. That's a really good tech for this deck. And it really helps out the deck go into all sorts of different plays. And is a 3 of monster that I'm playing. So definitely comment down below. Tell me what you think this card is, and we're going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So it is 3 copies of the Dark Tenyi Spirit. So the Dark Tenyi Spirit is an awesome tech card that I've been playing in this deck for quite a while now. That if you control no effect monsters, which Dark Magician is a normal monster, or if you don't have any monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you control a face-up non-effect monster, which is Dark Magician, you can banish this card from your hand and or graveyard to target a monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand, which can be a link monster or anything that you really need to get off the field. This card is really good in the deck. I might keep it at 3 in the deck because it's still an awesome card that if you control just a Dark Magician, you can banish it and then instantly, compulse a monster back to your opponent's hand. For the last 3 that I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good in the deck too, because you just need to hand trap your opponent sometimes. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, since it's Dark Magician, we are going to be playing a lot of them. So we're going to start off with 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is going to be a really important card in the deck to be able to stop your opponent from hand trapping you. 1 copy of Dark Magic Attack because it is searchable. I need to get an ultra rare copy of this card. But if you control Dark Magician, you can destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. A single copy of Magician or Illusion Magic. Illusion Magic lets you tribute a spellcaster type monster you control to add 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck or graveyard to your hand and or graveyard. So you can add 1 from your grave and 1 from your deck, 2 from your deck or 2 from your graveyard to your hand, which is really good for the deck. 1 copy of Dark Burning Magic. Dark Burning Magic is the kind of OTK card of the deck. I think I might bump it up to 2 after the new support. I don't know. If you control monsters whose original name are Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, you destroy all cards your opponent controls. Just everything gets destroyed. 2 copies of Bond Between Teacher and Student. Bond Between Teacher and Student, if you control a Dark Magician, you can special summon a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you get to set a Dark Magic Attack, Dark Burning Magic, Dark Burning Magic Attack, or a Dark Magic Twin Burst directly from your deck. Mainly, you're going for the Dark Burning Magic. You're going for this one all the time, and you really resolve it one time and you stop your opponent and it's game over. A single copy of Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is a good one of in the deck. It doesn't matter if you banish maybe 1 copy of Dark Magician, but at the same time, I like it and I don't all at once. I might change it out for a single copy of Star Goblin. That is another option for you guys if you want to change out the Pot of Desires. Then we play 2 copies of the Eye of Timaeus. Eye of Timaeus is not searchable by any card in the deck, which is a real shame, because it doesn't specifically list just Dark Magician. You can target a Dark Magician monster you control. See, it says Dark Magician monster, not Dark Magician. You can target Dark Magician monster you control and fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists that monster on the field as fusion materials. And then using that monster as fusion material, you only can activate Eye of Timaeus once per turn. So basically, you can have any monster that lists Dark Magician, send the Dark Magician to the graveyard, send Eye of Timaeus to the graveyard, and special summon any monster that specifically lists Dark Magician as a fusion material from your extra deck. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, or not Allure of Darkness, Dark Magic Circle, and 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. The Allure of Darkness kind of lets you dig deeper into the deck. The Dark Magic Circle lets us look at the top 3 cards of our deck, and then you get to add a Dark Magician or a specific card that lists Dark Magician in its name that's a spell or trap. And then it also has the ability that lets you target a card on the field when you special summon a Dark Magician and banish it. It lets you just banish any 1 card on the field, which is really, really, really good. And it really just stops our opponent from doing all sorts of stuff. And it's good disruption. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So Dark Magician actually plays traps, man. I know, it's kind of weird. It's a deck, one of the few decks that actually plays traps now. So we're going to be playing 3 copies of Magician's Navigation and 3 copies of Eternal Soul. Magician's Navigation is an awesome card that lets you special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, and then special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck. And then you can banish them from the graveyard except the turn it was sent there, and then target a face-up spell or trap card your opponent controls and have its effects negated until the end phase of the turn. So you can actually activate this in response to your opponent's activated spell or traps. Like if you activate Ash Blossom, and your opponent activates Call by the Grave, you can chain this, target the Call by the Grave while it's resolving on the field. It goes Chainlink 1, Ash Blossom, Chainlink 2, Call by the Grave, Chainlink 3, Magician's Navigation. Magician's Navigation resolves first, negating the Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave fizzles, Ash Blossom resolves, which is cool. It's really a neat card. I really love this card. And then Eternal Soul lets us special summon a Dark Magician from our hand or graveyard once per turn, or add Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives directly from our deck to our hand. And it also has the ability that if all Dark Magician monsters, every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card's effects. And if a face-up card leaves the field, if it leaves the field, you destroy all cards you control, all monsters you control, which kind of sucks, but it works because if it destroys all monsters you control, you can just put them back if you have another Eternal Soul. That's why I played it 3. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight is arguably one of the best extra deck monsters at the moment, until we get the new Twin Dark Magicians, or Twin Magicians of Dark, or whatever the new one is on the cover card of the pack of Legendary Duelist 5. That card is going to be a 2 of, I think. And this has the ability that this card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, and your opponent cannot target spell or trap cards you control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is really good for the deck to be able to protect your Eternal Soul and your Magician's Dark Magic Circle. Amulet Dragon we play as a 1-up. This card can get really big for no reason and just be able to OTK your opponent by banishing spells in the graveyard. It's really good against Sky Striker, and so that's why I still play it. A single copy of Dark Cavalry. Dark Cavalry is another one of those cards that you can bring out with Eye of Timaeus. Gain 10 attack for each spell and trap card in the field and in the graveyards, both graveyards. And if this card attacks an insufficient monster, inflicts piercing. And then when a card or effect is activated that targets a card on the field, you can discard a card and negate the activation if you destroy it. Dark Paladin, because it can get big against dragons, and guard dragons were a big thing recently, and so I wanted to play the Dark Paladin to be able to OTK guard dragons and, stuff like that. And negate spells as well, which is pretty good by just discarding a card, which is really, really, really good to be able to just discard a card and to just negate spells. And then 1 copy of Dark Magician, the Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. She's really good too. She cannot be special summoned except by Eye of Timaeus, and then once per turn, during either player's turn, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard and target card on the field destroy it. So she's good for just spot removal. Ebon Illusion Magician is a good 1-up too. You detach a material from it to special summon a Dark Magician from your deck or a normal spellcaster type monster from your deck. And then it also has the ability, if a normal spellcaster monster battles, you can banish a card on the field, which is really cool. I really love that effect about this card. I play an Ebon High Magician. I never really use Ebon High Magician, but it's there for the option. Big Eye to take your opponent's monsters. Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon because it's Joey's signature card, or not Joey's signature card, but it's like the retrain of Joey's signature card. So I really love this card. It's awesome. It can be destroyed by card effects while it has the XYZ materials, and then when this card has XYZ materials, your opponent each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflicts 500 points of damage to your opponent. So in total, if they have 8,000 life points and you make this card, they can only activate 16 card effects before they burn themselves out. If they do something like a Solemn Judgment or pay half their life points, it goes to 8. If you do damage to them, depending on how much damage it is, it's just in increments of 500 that they can activate stuff. Noriato, the Moral Leader, is my last XYZ monster. It's just for the Apprentice Illusion Magicians and the Dark Magician Girls. It negates spells and traps, which is really good to be able to detach a material from it and negate the activation if you destroy it. Boral Sword to OTK the opponent. 2 copies of Wee Witch to boost up my monsters because the majority of them are dark anyways, and the link arrows are really nice. Crowley, the First Prophecyr. Crowley is a really good card in the deck that people underrate, but it's really good in any spellcaster deck because if this card is link summoned, you get to reveal 3 spellbooks in your deck, and then if you do, randomly pick 1 and add it to your hand. But the really good effect about this card is once per turn, each turn, you can, 1 level 5 or higher spellcaster monster can be normal summoned without tributing. So you can instantly normal summon out a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your hand if you have Crowley on the field. And then 1 copy of Monk of the Tenyi. Monk of the Tenyi is just here for the Dark Tenyi Spirit to link it away so it becomes live on the field. And the link arrows are not bad either. So that's why I play this card as a 1-up. So anyways, guys, that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a really nostalgic deck to play around with. It's super fun to play around with. I love Dark Magicians, man. Like, Dark Paladin is hands down one of my favorite cards of all time, and I'm glad we're getting kind of a retrain of it in the form of a Red Eyes Dark Paladin, essentially. It'd be really cool to get a Blue Eyes Dark Paladin and do something else, but, I mean, I'm probably pushing it. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. Hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.